Hello guys, today we're going to have a look at the John Deere 8360 RT again, and what I'm going to try to do today is add a 3-point link mechanism. And my plan is to use one of these screw motors and make another screw mechanism similar to the half pipe trailer, and hopefully with that we should have a pretty strong 3-point link. So for the screw mechanism, I'm going to cut a piece of this brass standoff. I'm going to connect that to the motor. When the motor turns, it'll screw a threaded bar connected on the other end of the standoff. So it'll just screw it in or out to raise and lower the 3-point link. So I've drilled out part of the standoff. I drilled a 1.6mm hole here, and I threaded it to I tapped it to M2. So now I can put this over the motor and tighten up this screw, and we now have a threaded mechanism that we can turn on our motor. So that should be a pretty strong mechanism. The next thing I'm going to do is cut a length of this nail so that I can tap it from one end and drill a hole through it so that I can place. I'm just going to use a paper clip, so I'm going to drill the hole through that so I can put the paper clip through, which will come out and attach to my 3-point link, and hopefully that'll work okay. Okay, so I've cut the top off the nail and drilled a little hole through. So as you can see, that fits the paper clip perfectly. So I just need to tap part of this so that we can screw this in and out on our piece of threaded bar or piece of standoff. Okay, so I have the screw mechanism finished now. So just to test it out, we'll see can it pull the tractor. So obviously doesn't seem to have any trouble pulling the tractor along here, even though it has 2 rubber tracks, so should have considerable amount of traction. But yeah, so if it's able to pull the tractor, it should be able to lift pretty much any accessory. So the next thing is to mount this in the tractor some way, and we move on from there. Okay, so I've taken the motors out, and I think I'll try and mount the screw mechanism here, because there are 2 little supporting parts of the chassis here that just happen to be around about the right size of the motor. So I think I'll get the motor squeezed in there, fix it in place, and we should be able to have our mechanism screw in and out here underneath the motors, and that should let us move our 3-point link down here. So next thing to do is to fix the motor in place. Okay, so here's the screw mechanism installed. It's just mounted up against the side of the chassis here, and we have a little bar going through to our lifting arms. So if we test it out here, we should be able to lift this butterfly more. So connect the battery. It's the wrong direction. So this motor is pretty slow. It's a 30 RPM motor, but it's exactly the same size as a 60 RPM motor, so I can change it later and switch for the 60 RPM. But to be honest, I never really used the hitch on the tractors anyway, so should be good enough. I mean, I hook the trailer up and that's it. That's usually what I do. But we'll see. I might use it now that I have it installed. So there's the hitch up, no problem. One thing I've noticed is this tractor is pretty light on the front, so you know the mower is considerably heavier, but you know, it lifted it no problem. It's probably not the best way to do it. A servo probably is a lot handier, even though it's probably a little bit bigger. I still think a servo might have been a better way to go. It might have been a little bit easier to install it too, but at least there's something different tried, and it works. But it's a bit slower. It's going to take a little bit more wires to control, and ultimately I think you're probably better going with a servo in this case. So that's all I have for today, so thanks very much for watching, and if you liked that video, give it a thumbs up, and if you have any questions, ask them either in the forum or ask them below. So thanks very much for watching.